This week we're going in focus on online safety for kids and teens. We're starting our show on location today. We're joined by Attorney General Josh Stein. I want to thank you so much for joining us.
Loretta, thanks for being here in the focus.
Let's talk about this issue. When we talk about keeping kids safe online, this is a tough thing to do because things are constantly changing out there.
Things are constantly changing, and we also have things like the Constitution we have to be sensitive to. North Carolina actually tried, and the Supreme Court, U.S. Supreme Court, struck down our law. And so I've been working with the legislature, and this is a bipartisan effort, to make sure that we protect kids when they use online resources in a way that respects the Constitution. And we think we've threaded that needle. And we're optimistic that the legislature will pass it and kids will be safer online.
So why don't you talk to me a little bit about that, having to watch out for while you're making sure that you're keeping kids safe?
Sure. The key of this bill is to the most dangerous people who have committed sex offenses in the past, whether they've been people who have had sex offenses against kids or engaged in very violent sexual offenses, they're already captured under law by a term called high-risk sex offenders. And what the law does is say that those people may not contact people under the age of 16 online. They can't gather information about them. They can't reach out to them. They have to leave those children alone. And if they violate that, if they try to groom kids or meet them through online resources, that's a felony, and even if they don't succeed. And so we want to make sure that we do everything in our power to keep kids safe wherever they are. We want them safe when they're at summer camp. We want them safe on Little League or the gymnastics team. We want them safe when they're scouting. We also want them safe when they're online, because increasingly that's where they spend a lot of their time.
We also are finding in this day and age, kids communicate with each other so much online, and they find out so much information online. I know as we've been looking at school safety issues, even with reporting and kids something that they might see online. I mean, that's a type of online safety also, knowing for a young person what they should be paying attention to.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many risks in society. Anything that exists in the real world exists in the digital world too. So if it's potential sex offenses, but it could be threats of violence like you're talking about. It could be bullying. And it's really imperative that parents parent their children how to behave online just as we do at the dinner table or when they're over at a neighbor's house. And it's something that's not easy for parents because, frankly, the kids are a lot better at how to use internet tools than we are. It just comes so easily to them. But our parenting doesn't stop when they get on the screen. In many ways, it has to increase.
You're a parent yourself. I think so many parents have a hard time with, you're being told your kids have to know how to use the computer. Everything is online. It feels like everything is online these days. So how do you encourage them to use the computer, but also make sure that you're keeping them safe?
There are simple things parents can do. One is many of these websites have privacy settings, and it just takes a little bit of time to go on and familiarize yourself with them. And they actually can have settings on time, which serves the purpose of making sure that they're not doing it late at night when they should be sleeping. Obviously, we recommend people take the phones away from their kids when the kids are getting ready to go to bed so that they don't stay up under the sheets and text with their friends. But really, ultimately, it comes down to conversations. We have to talk to our children about what is responsible behavior and let them know that things like images are permanent. They exist forever. A comment that you give verbally could be interpreted one way because of physical cues, but online can be interpreted totally differently. They're just things we have to do as parents to educate kids. But we also have to monitor our children because they don't always learn by hearing things. A lot of times they learn through making mistakes, and that's why you should make sure you can look at your kids' texts and their emails and their social media posts and let them know that this isn't a zone of privacy separate from you. This is your right as a parent to make sure that you're looking out for your kids to help them learn how to socialize in a responsible way.
Do you think North Carolina is doing well with their efforts on online safety?
I think so. I think that we could do more curriculum in the schools. There's a bill, the Safe Child Act, which the legislature is considering, which I think would put us at edge of child safety protection. That hasn't passed yet, so I urge the legislature to do that. So I think we're doing well, but as you alluded, technology changes so quickly that I don't know that we'll ever catch up, and that's why giving kids skills, concrete skills on how to protect themselves and make sure that they're behaving responsibly really comes down to parenting.
Okay. Attorney General Josh Stein, thank you